The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
Hey, everybody. Whoops. Welcome to another episode of The Czar and the Unknown. I'm your host, E.D. Testerman. We got a fun show today. This is picked out by you, the subscribers, and it's the What If. So if you got any what if questions, like what if we captured Bigfoot? What if we did this? We'll try to dive into it and see how it goes today. Hey, I did a pretty good job singing that, Roxanne. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I can't wait. Hopefully I don't miss your questions. Please, if you have a what if question, put it in all caps. It'll be easier for me to try to see it. I will try to keep track of them, and that way I can try to answer them in order. So with that being said, who's got the first what if? Make sure I didn't miss anybody here real quick. Okay, good. I can't remember. I think Roxanne was the first one to suggest this show. So, Roxanne, you better have some what if questions. Scare me, you singing plus my ear. Oh. Hey, I am thrilled how that song came out. William. You never know. Oh man. Like I know what was it? Who was it last night? Oh, there we go. Muriel's got one. What if the veil was torn open and everyone will be able to see cryptids whether they are looking for them or not? Um, I can tell you now, I'm pretty convinced that I think a large number of the population will be okay with it. Maybe a little concerned, but okay with it. A smaller population is going to go, hey man, it's time to go hunting. That's the ones with very few brain cells left in their brain pan. Um, the others, man, they're going to be too scared. They're just not going to be able to comprehend something like that. We have been brainwashed for so long that if that was to actually happen, I think some of the population would be just totally freaked out. I mean, beyond sanity. It's gonna jack with everybody's head. The people who are not believers, regardless if they're semi-believers or not, the people that are not believers, it's gonna jack with their head because their whole reality just got changed. Some of them probably would, Muriel. Yeah, some of them probably would. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much the type of classes we'll be seeing if that happens. Yeah, I do want. I do. What if a human saves a pup? Dog man from drowning. Yeah, that was the one I was trying to remember. Took it home, took care of it. The two bad men came in. The Titan found a cabin they could possibly have. I do what if a human saves two dogmen? So dogmen pups from drowning. Took it home to take care of it. And then two bad men came in. The and found the cabin that could. Okay, so I think I'm understanding what you're saying there. I was trying to decipher what you were saying there, Roxanne. I'm going to have to pause here. I want to make sure I don't want to miss any what if questions. Um, I think if it comes to dogmen, and I'd say this is probably going to be Bigfoot too. If someone say I rescued two of them, dogmen pups, and I raised them, they're going to know me as their caretaker, as their pact. They're going to see me as that. So I would say that they would be very protective of you. And if someone tried to come in and take them from me, well, I've got plenty of woods that need to be fertilized. That's just how I would be. Um, I think they would really see you as their pack leader and part of their pact, and I think they would probably be good to you. I could be wrong, but that's kind of where I'm at on that. No, Jonah side, it disappeared pretty quick. Men's heart will stop because of fear. Yeah. What do you think about, or what do you think about people who think Ouija boards are just toys? I'll be honest with you. Ouija board was started out as a toy. I'm pretty convinced of that. I'm not 100% convinced of that, but that's kind of where I'm at on that. I think because of the concept of the Ouija board and the power of what people do, I think they turned it into something evil. And I feel sorry for those that are not knowledgeable. I mean, them things are nothing to play with nowadays. They are dangerous, and the people that think it's a toy and laugh and joke about it, there's reasons why bad crap happened to them. Okay. Mario says I messed with a Ouija board, didn't close it or burn it, and I had a rough time for a long time in my life. A lot of loose trauma. Yeah, yeah, that happens quite often. Do you ever sew something too close? Do you ever sew something too close it, or do you ever do something to close it some way even after? Okay, right. Okay. If it was a trick to humanity, Ouija boards originally called spirit boards. Yeah, they were. Yep. I mean, hey, Amy, good to see you, sweetie. How are you today? And no knowledge is spiritual protection. Yeah, yeah. If you don't close it out right, man, it'll wreak havoc on you for life. It's hard. It is so hard to get your life somewhat back to normal after doing that. But and then, William, you and I have talked about this a few times. We'll get something that's pretty innocent, but because of things we do, things we say, and how we act with it, turn something innocent into something bad. And that's exactly what happened. The Ouija board was based off of something else at one time, but yeah, I mean, it actually started out as a game that went to a completely different place. Yeah. I've never personally done it, but I've been around it when it happened, and I ain't going to jack with it. So that's two good questions already. Does anybody else got another what if question? Remember, put it all in caps so I know you're asking me the question and not screaming at me like William does. I think that's what people call it, ain't it? When it's all caps, screaming. If I remember right, I think that's what they say. Hell, I can't keep track of it anymore. I played the Ouija board with my little bro and his friend. They were asking it stupid questions. We had a candle lit, and the fire from the candle came around the outside of the candle. Yep. But I rebuked all of the harm behind the others within the circle of accept. Yeah. Want to mess with stupid people? Tell them to smack the side of an oak. Yeah, with a Ouija board to draw the elemental spirit. No kidding. And it burnt the carpet. Yeah, I mean, I've seen. Woof, man. Um, oh, Amy, thank you so much. Happy Yule to you, my friend, too. Thank you. Holy cow. That is wow. I, wow, Amy. That is God, that's a blessing. Thank you. That really blows my mind, man. You're awesome. Holy cow, man. That wow, that blows my mind right there. Thank you so much. Oh, no worries. That's fine. Thank you, sweetheart. That is holy cow. Uh, I don't even know what to say. That is just wow. I mean, just thank you. That's wow. Whew. That's awesome. Um, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just getting hit again. Oh, thank you. You are so sweet. Thank you. Wow, that you don't realize how much that helps right now. Actually, I'm I appreciate it, Auntie. I just wow. I don't know what to say. Just thank you. Wow. Yeah, no kidding. Thank you. I didn't know you came in. Yeah. Love you too, man. Thank you. That I'm sorry. I'm just lost for words on that one. Wow. um yeah, thank you. Uh yeah, William. No kidding. I'm not going to. I'm holding it in. I'm not going to. I'm holding it in. Yeah. Yeah, I'm holding it in. So maybe a little teary eyed. Maybe a little tired. Yeah, I do, Mario. I'm blessed. I really, really am. I'm blessed. Did Unreal sneak in without me seeing? Hey, Unreal, how's it going, buddy? So, oh, that blessing. Wow. Does anybody else got some what if questions? Hopefully, you can get a few things. Yeah, that's I've got something going on that I am trying like hard to take care of so I don't get in trouble. I know, Roxanne. Yeah. Um, yeah. Wow. Um, so I think, I mean, I know you asked about Dogman, but I think it'd be the same thing with Bigfoot too. You know, it, I think they're a pack, pack creature too. I mean, let's face facts. Most of your mammals are pack creatures, and we are in some aspects of mammal as well. We're pack creatures too. I like being alone, but at the same time, I do get lonely because I do need that human connection, physical human connection. And the problem is the type of connection we need is something that we know people like, that we would like. So going to work doesn't necessarily fulfill that connection with humans, but some good friends or a lover that can feel it. Dogman and Bigfoot are the same way. They want that connection. There's stories that Dogman and Bigfoot have saved people. Some, yes, I've heard tons of stories like that. I know a lot of people are scared of Dogman, and I'm not. I'm not scared of Dogman. Um, as in the whole, is there some bad ones? Yes. Are there some sent for nefarious reasons? Yes. Are they protecting a place? Yes. Can that lead to a bad encounter? Yes. But in a whole, I don't think dogmen are that necessarily bad. Let's see if I can do this without jacking my chat up again. What if cryptids that were used as assets against humanity realized they were used negativity by the government and help humanity fight back? Well, that is a very good question, Amiriel. Um, that's kind of a two-part question. I'm not 100%. I mean, I can go two ways on that question. If they raise these type of, gosh dang it, sorry guys. If they raised them from birth, then there's a strong possibility that that they're going to be brainwashed and won't realize it. But with reports that I've heard from whistleblowers, if they are credible, I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying if these whistleblowers are credible, then they have made the comment that werewolves are easier to control because they keep their humanity, where dogmen are not because they don't have humanity. They're natural. So if that's the case, I can see that they would be fighting back, but I can also see where they'll mistaken us for them because of all the torment and torture they've been through to make them the way that they are. Yeah, it is, William. Thank you for that question. That was a good question. That's a difficult one to answer. So far, my chat's working good, so I'll keep trying to do this. What if Bigfoot in Europe are the trolls and giants of Norse mythology? So that's actually a very good point, Jonaside. Um, People mistaken trolls and giants as being two separate things. Trolls is a type of giant. You got your Jotunars, you got all them. They're from Jotunheim, but you got your frost giants, your mountain giants, your wood giants, trolls. I mean, you got all these different types of Jotuns. So trolls are in the Jotun class, the giant class. Jotun in Norse is giant. So Jotun, they're from Jotunheim. They are the giants. They came from Ymir. They were the first ones. They were created from Ymir, the same as the Aesir was, and then the first Aesir and the first Jotuns came together and had offsprings, and this is where all this stuff comes from. But yes, trolls are giants. They completely are giants, and that's something I think people mix up quite often. Yeah, natural brute beasts, those are the ones that are carnal. They can't reason or think. Yeah, golem. Yeah, golems are soulless. Golems are soulless. They're completely magical. They're magic put in a physical form. Look at the hunters. Look at the hunters who see Bigfoot and don't shoot at them. The Bigfoot leave them alone and moves on. Yes, and there's so many times that hunters have disappeared and they found damaged guns by their tree stands or where they're hunting at. And I say that they're the ones that took that shot. My dad's house is covered up with usna. Oh, that's cool. I haven't decorated. I ain't gonna lie. I have nothing Yule up. I have nothing Christmassy up. I haven't even decorated. I don't ever see the point when it's just me. There are always expectations as well. Natural animals can do human like things more than most humans ever so often. Yeah, I mean that's true. I'm a firm believer what happened to me that night that I was trying to look at the northern lights and I got told I need to go inside and stay inside because of what was going on out here. I think that was the family that lives here that I've had dealings with for 33 years. I cold heartedly believe those are the ones that were telling me to come inside. I get that, Emuriel. I get that. Some people get mad at me because I teach the truth about holidays because it doesn't fit with their brainwashing. I've listened to stories of hunters who have said they couldn't shoot them. They look human and could do it. Yeah, I mean, I've heard so many encounters of like that, and that's why I always said, I think about it. If we can mate with them and they can mate with us, and we can create offspring, we are very, 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 very similar. That's the only way this is going to happen. Gene wise, genetically wise, and DNA wise, that is the only way that can happen. So that's why I always tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Bigfoot was the last remnants of Neanderthal. Look how many people around the world have Neanderthal DNA in them or Denisovan DNA in them. It wouldn't surprise me. That'd be a good question, Muriel. I don't want to put that one up on the screen, but that's yeah, that is a good question. I don't know. Would it, being we're genetically similar? No worries, William. That is a good question. I mean, it's hard because we don't know. Native people talk about that happening to them all the time. My original theories was there are natural evolved humans on Earth. Yeah. On that one, Amy, from what I know, they make like humans. They're basically another human form. I personally believe that the DNA, whenever the Anunnaki talk about they took the clay of the earth and mixed it with their DNA to create humans, I think it was them. And the reason why I think that is because of everything we could do with them and they could do with us. So if all the stories that the native people talk about, the stories that ancient Sumeria talked about, and all these other things talk about with these things that sound just like Bigfoot, they make just like we do. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Is that one there? No worries, no worries, Muriel. You're fine. You don't worry about it. What if Bigfoot is a time traveler who comes back to check on us as long as a loving grandparent would do? I never considered that. That's actually a good question. Oh, no worries. Give me a second. I'll get right back to that, Amy. That's Genocide. That'd be a good one. I don't know. Uh, I mean, there's too many stories throughout history of these type of creatures being there, but maybe they are at that higher dimension and they do that. That would be weird. That'd be creepy. I never really thought of that, bud. Um, so yeah, I mean, even with giants, so most of so there is different stories on how giants came to be. If you go on a Christianity side of it, the Watchers mated with the human females and end up creating the Nephilim, which is the Hebrew word for giant. So created the giant, and they in turn mated with humans too. So in an essence, if you're looking at it that way, they are part human. So I mean, I don't think it would be. Hey, Jessica. Um, and I've often asked in that question too. How did they give birth to something that big? Did it explode out of them? Did they start out small and eventually grew? I'm kind of on the lines they started out small and grew. It's man, yeah. That's I mean it. I have asked myself that question so many times. Yeah, test tube babies. Yeah. Uh, yep, pets are great example. Let's see. Trying to make sure I haven't missed anybody else with what if questions. Jessica. Hey, hey, dwarf, how's it going? Thank you, man. Yeah, I always have fun being on with Jessica. Uh, People say Greys could be us in the future, but that is if we become Sasquatch in the future. So the I've heard of the Greys being us from the future. Something happens, they're trying to come back to save, save humanity. I have heard that. I've also heard that they are basically like a suit. I've heard that they are drones. I've heard they are servants. Um, yeah, that's what I was thinking too, man. I mean, I've heard all of those theories too, and um, I don't know, man. I'm kind of the one that's gonna. I think there's something different. I think they're just a completely different life form, but I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, Don, there we go. Sorry, I almost missed it. If you guys got a what if question, please put it in caps. It's easier for me to see it. I do apologize. I almost skipped over that, Don. I am so sorry. What if we are not the first run of humans in this form? I have made that same argument. I don't know how many times, and I really upset people because especially with most of the people I deal with as Christians. Um, and I go to the Bible and I say, when Cain was casted out, he went to the city to find a wife. If Adam and Eve was the first humans on this planet, how did Cain go to the city to find a wife? There would not be a city then. So I'm a firm believer there was different life forms on this planet prior to us. Were the other type of humans? I've seen that the last couple of days really start to come out on a lot of different stuff. I have not done enough look into it, but it's a theory I've had. For the longest time, my theory is Adam and Eve was the first ones created with a soul, or they were the first ones in our image. Either one of those two is kind of where I'm at on that. And I do not believe Adam and Eve were the first humans on this planet. I'm until I can find evidence to change my mind. They're either the first ones with the soul or the first ones to look like us. That's kind of where I'm at on that. Eric, what would you do if Bigfoot came out of the woods in front of you? No intention of harming you. Man, I'd do what I do now, and I'd greet him like a friend. And I mean, do what you're supposed to. Offer him food, offer him, drink. And you're supposed to do that with an elder. When you have guests, especially elders, but if you have a guest come over, the polite thing to do is offer them food and drink. If they have no place to stay, offer them shelter. That is what we are meant to do. And I'm a big, firm believer that Bigfoot would be in that same category. They are elder big brothers. So I would offer them food, drink. That's what I would do. Or I'd piss my pants. And I'm talking a big game, just don't realize it. But way my mind is right now, I'd offer them food and drink. Eric, what is the what if theme exactly? Things like what if UFOs are, yeah, I mean, anything what if dealing with cryptids, paranormal, supernatural, mythological, yeah, unreal. That's what everybody was talking. That's what some people were talking about last night's show when I was trying to come up with the show idea. So I decided to go with it. So this literally is a show created by the subscribers. Yeah, it would explain a lot of them, and that's a lot of stuff. William and I have touched on that multiple times together, and we've touched on it, on our own as well. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do, Muriel. Muriel. Yeah, they probably. I mean, so that's actually a good question. I'm glad you actually said that, Muriel, because there is reports of them stinking, but it's only in certain areas. There is actually more reports of them not stinking than there is of them stinking. So I don't know if it's a defense mechanism. I don't know if it's a territory thing. I don't know if it's just an area thing. I don't know. I've never smelt one when I know they're around. I've never smelt one. Oh yeah. This is kind of a fun show. When I was thinking about it and I was setting it up today, I was like, this is going to be fun. I like shows like this. I think they would show up as agents and could be more than yeah. My squirrel came back last night looking through the living room window. A cute little bugger, turning him into dumplings, or you can call him dumpling. Maybe some Sasquatch. Yeah, Sasquatch. So yeah, no kidding. I think they rub skunks on themselves. That could be Joseph. Good to see you in here. Yeah, I mean that is. They probably do. I mean, I don't know. I just know there's more reports of them not stinking than there is of them stinking. And one of the main theories that a lot of evidence is coming out, it's a territorial marker thing. They use it to scent their territory. I could be wrong though. Oh crap. Come on, work for me now. Okay. Okay. Eric, what if you got a report of an actual broomstick flying witch encounter? Would you immediately think it's impossible? No. I'd be hesitant about it because that's all just folklore brought into things. Actually, using a broom to fly around, that's all Holly Scrooge. I would go, is that CGI or is this a demon? I'll be trying to dissect what it is. Roxanne. They say that the flying broomstick just was just then taking a substance to make them feel as if they are. It could be, man. Yeah. It can also be connected to the odor of the trickster spirit or demonic shapeshifter. Yeah, I mean that is also a possibility. I forgot about that. Thank you, William. Yeah, you're right. It could be. That's what I'm saying. Most of your reports they don't have a smell. There is reports of them, not near as many as reports are that they don't have a smell. There's more reports of them saying they did not notice a smell than there is of them knowing a smell. Could it be a defense mechanism too? I mean, that is also possible too. It could be a defense mechanism to let that smell out to try to ward you away, just like a skunk does. Auntie. Uh, yeah, I honestly, I've heard more reports of witches floating around and flying around than I have with them being on a broomstick. A lot of stuff in history says the same thing too. That's kind of why I'm on that. Um, Unreal says, Eric, I agree on the high end of the doubt, though, based on theory, some entities may be able to manifest into things such as our known knowledge. Yeah. I mean, look how many times Trickster does it. Look how many times demons do it. Yeah. My neighbor thought he saw me riding a broomstick around Halloween. He was probably high. Hey, Tanya. Um, okay. What if these cryptids, aliens, and other creatures can manipulate your emotions to make you more comfortable in their presence? That is something that's gone around quite often, Amiriel. I don't really think they will. Um, I I don't know. I don't think they would, but I know that's something that people have been starting to say. I really don't think they have the need to do that. So I don't know. I mean, if it's possible, that can explain a lot of stuff or really mess with your head. Um, Gosh, I mean, I hope that never happened to me. You know, that would be a huh. Yeah, I mean, and so you would have to ask the question if that's the case, what does that do to your brain? If they messed with your brain in that capacity, what damage has that done to your brain? That's a scary thing to think of. Yeah, I mean, we know that there's humans already doing it with the technology they have. Man, if cryptids are doing that too, we ain't gonna have a brain left. We wouldn't have a brain left. That'd be too much damage to the brain. The brain would not be able to sustain something like that. Oops. No, don't get on my keyboard, Elvira. Come on, you two. I mean, why can't you be like Blackie and be on my shoulder? Unreal says, Eric, in a way that would make it more unbelievable to the actual person seeing it. Maybe it's, yeah. Elvira, come on. I'm trying to do a show, honey. And mess with their heads. Yeah, I mean, I really think that would cause some serious brain damage if they did that. Yeah, I mean, if it happened, I don't think they do. I know a lot of people do. I personally don't think they do. But you got to think when it comes to physics and biology, if you mess with the brain too much, and this is proven science, you mess with the brain too much in a manner like that, you turn it to mush. Could that be why we're having so many different attitude changes? I mean, that's possible. Yeah. We already know that, certain entities and certain organizations are already doing that to humankind. So imagine if cryptids doing it too. God, that would jack you up. Balance is key. Not everything is good or bad, but there is wickedness out there. And that's the thing. That's what worries me about demons and tricksters, because I mean they do kind of affect with your brain. And I mean, look at the trauma that happens when that goes on. The brain has pockets for everything, Eric, like a file. Yeah, they do, but you get to jacking with that pocket tip. Hey, Larry, then you jack your brain up. I mean, just think, one decent bump to the head can change your personality and your reality. Just one good bump to the head. That's all it takes. And that's a bump. That ain't something projecting itself into your brain. That's just a bump to the head. Can do all that kind of damage to a human brain. That could only harm weak or unprotected people. Stay aware. Yeah, possible. I mean, I don't know. Possibly, yeah, you could be right. Once you're aware of them, can they manipulate your thoughts? You are then immune to it. The magic trick. So that's a good question, Main House. I mean, I don't know. You would think so because you're already mentally aware of it, but we can go into that factor. What if they're stronger than you are, so they can actually alter it even though you're aware of it? And then so I mean that goes right back to me talking about the brain trauma that would cause, because something more powerful than you is countering your abilities and your knowledge. I mean, that's going to jack you up. Looked your face laptop and started rubbing on it. Think she was doing. Yeah, I get that a lot. Just leave it closed out. Yep, it was always good to know what you're doing before you do. Yeah. William says, if infrasound can cause humans to become nausea and sick, then think about mind manipulation powers of aliens, cryptids, and others. Yeah, I mean, it goes right back to what I was saying a minute ago. The certain entity, and we've discussed it a time or two, so I don't want to say it too many times. This week alone, that certain group has already admitted they do that. A certain little pokey poke was the instrument of bringing that about, where they can change and permanently get rid of human DNA. And Homo sapien will no longer exist. If they can do that now, they can manipulate your brain to that degree now. And that's a pokey poke. Think of what magic can do. Yeah, spiritual self defense, be a spiritual ninja. Hell yeah. Well, the dog man I saw that just walked up slowly, calmly, coolly active, just exactly like a person is messing with my head enough. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine them putting some kind of magic in your brain to make you alter your perception. People have been known to speak different languages or able to compute things they never understood before. Yeah, that's called unlocking something. That's not altering something. That's unlocking something, Roxanne. So I mean that there is a difference on that. Unlocking something that was hidden inside your brain is a lot easier on a brain to fit than magically altering or even physically altering your brain. That does way more damage when you do that. I mean, that's just my experience with dark magic stuff with my family. I've seen what happens when they do that stuff. I mean, what happens to them, not counting the person they were messing with, but what happens to them. I've seen it. No, I don't want it. Yeah, yeah, you're right, William. You're right. And look what it does to that person. There is a residual um, effect left over from doing something like it. It takes its toll on the person casting it and the person being cast upon. Jedi mind tricks. Hell yeah, man. Be like Yoda, you must. I'm thinking about all this anyways anymore because if I do, I get stuck in the past. But if I mean, yeah, you have to be careful. I mean, even just non-magical stuff or non-physical stuff, just visualization messes with the brain. Just imagine, adding something physical or magical to it. That was an implant. Does the implant they control you like a remote? Yes, Samiriel. Yeah, they literally changed the human DNA. So I personally work with someone from the CIA to make me not talk about it, and I'm okay with that. I purposely work with someone from the CIA to make me not talk about it, and I get that. Amy, I get that quite a bit. I can't fault you on that. You got to take care of you and yours. These are not the droids you're looking for. These are not the droids we're looking for. We can be about our business. You can be about your business. Heck yeah, man. But I still have triggers and walk. Sometimes I'm getting, but yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's baby steps, man. People overcome things at a different pace than others. You'll never fully get over it, but you can adapt to it, and people adapt to it better than others, and some don't. I mean, that's just part of life, man. That's how it is. We have parts of our brain we don't use, or our ancient ancestors used every part of their brain. Example, wondering minstrel who would give us. Yeah, we actually do. You're absolutely right, Roxanne. 100% right. A big portion of our brain we don't use. I figured out how to use my gift to help people. Just ask Angelique, Jessica, and others. It's not magical with AC. Yeah. Uh, Unreal says, unfortunately, when I hit my head, I only see stars and sparks briefly. Yeah, I've seen them white flashes. Yeah, I've been hit hard enough in the head. I've seen white flashes. I mean, I've had so much trauma done to me through farming, mechanicking, fighting, and military that is probably what's going on with my brain and my memory. Mind manipulation powers only work on people with a brain. That's the downside. Yeah, no joke. Work on the weakest mind, it does. Strong mind, no work. I'm still trying to figure out what my gifts are. I'm always figuring mine out too, Muriel. We always are. I mean, we're always trying to figure out what our gifts are, and our gifts evolve. We gain some and we lose some. It's a constant change, a constant battle. So I'm trying to do a show, and I've literally got a cat that's laying in my arms and one here on my shoulder. This one was in my hoodie, the part that goes over my head. Earlier, I was trying to get some stuff done, and I was almost being choked out because Blackie here decided to sleep in the hoodie part of my hood. Force is strong with you. Hmm? Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, Yoda's the man. I actually got a Jedi handbook. I need to get it brought back up here. It's a good read. It really is a good read. It's the visional spectrum. We only see about 5% of cryptids might be able to influence us though on it. Could be, and it's like I've talked about a couple times this weekend alone. With us gaining a higher dimensional way of being, a higher dimensional of consciousness, what we're calling the veil, could it actually be what our ancestors used to be like, and we're starting to get into that state of mind again? He does. He does. He's on my shoulder now, but I've had my hoodie on most of the day, and see earlier when I was writing, he got back here in that hoodie, curled up and fell asleep, and this thing was pulled up against my neck, and I was like, oh my gosh. You must keep feeding the gifts you know you have and wants and grow. Yeah, I mean you're Jedi. Jedi. The path of a Jedi is a prime example when it comes to that. You got the light and you got the dark. You got the Jedi, you got the Sith. Whichever wolf you feed more, that's the one that's going to manifest. You got the white wolf, the black wolf. One is good, one is evil. Whichever one you feed the most, that's the one that's reject the most. I get so much flack from random people. It is crazy. Anything to stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, you just got to learn to bulldog through it and not let them bring you down. I mean, honestly, that's what you got to do. I live by a certain phrase nowadays called dillygaff. That means, do I look like I give a F? And ever since I started living that way and trying to learn more of that way, I've lived a happier life. In England, Jedi is an actual religion. Believe Ontario records. I believe there's a Jedi church, if my memory serves me correctly. Gifts may be you truly need to be with you, truly need them and want them. Yeah. See, gifts may be when you truly need them or want them. Yeah. Yeah. But I do actually have a Jedi handbook. It is a good read. You guys, you can find it on Amazon. Want to find a good read. Really makes you think. And a lot of stuff that we talk about is Jedi is based off of that same stuff. Some weird instance happened with a person this week. I would think of a word and they would instantly say the word. With the same person, it was interesting. Yeah, I've done that a couple times, not a whole lot, but I have done that a couple times. And I have sat there and thought about it long enough that I want somebody to call me. And then it took a little while, but they ended up calling me. The let them theory will save you at a lot of. I'm not talking to you, Siri, so shut down.
Okay.
It will save you a lot of time if it's the best theory. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Jedi are the both sides is the two wolves inside of you fighting. Yeah, you got the Jedi and the Sith. Hey, Jeff. Good versus evil, light versus dark. I have a bad habit to say thank you for noticing when they call me crazy and saying, are you just plain? Man, I love messing. I love doing mind judo on people that's trying to get under my skin. I love doing mind judo with them. It is so much fun. It is so much fun to mind judo somebody. Oh, you just did? You see how many new calves you got, Jeff? Always wanted to see Princess Leia. Oops. Use the lightsaber. I can't remember if it's the next to last or the last one they just came out. You'll see her use one. Unreal. Sherry shut DA.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
I ain't call you. Go to sleep.
Okay.
I said a completely different word. 2 today. Cool. What did I'm misunderstanding that one comment. Oh, a total of 6 that week. That's good. You're going to be doing pretty good here soon. I always preferred had my calves in the winter, so that way they're ready for winter. In spring, so that way they're ready for winter. And I better talk to you like that around me ever. So what did I miss here? Oh, Siri. Okay. I get it now. Now that makes sense. Okay. The two wolves are inside only. I think there is something else inside that is stronger. Could be. I'm pretty much down with the two wolves. Yeah. Remember, my first love was Daisy Duke, but Princess Leia, she was right there. Princess Leia was right there. I just tell people up front the stuff I'm interested in. If they think I do too, Muriel. I do all the time. I will be heading to the sale this week. Got 2 cows going tomorrow. Heck, how much is beef on the hoof in your area, Jeff? I haven't looked at mine in a little while. We went down pretty bad for a little bit. Hopefully they're selling pretty good in your area. Yeah, we have people, when we're talking about beef on the hoof, there's 2 types of prices for beef. You got on the hoof and off the hoof. Usually when you're selling it at a sale barn, it's on the hoof. And that means we're talking about how much are they alive. So you got a live price and unalive price. Usually unalive price is at a butcher. But, so if you hear someone say, how much is it, the beef on the hoof right now, it means how much are they giving for live beef. Amen. Don't we say in the hood they call her Princess Lay Up the Hoop Queen. Cows are bringing around $3,000 at the sale. What size cows? That's pretty damn good if they're bringing $3,000 at a sale. Wow, that's a hell of a lot better than what they're doing around here. Well, that makes my heart hurt. And of course, you found that out about yourself because you were strong. Yep. I have a close friend. I can think of him calling me, and he calls me every time. So for some reason, he and I are connected. Like, that's good, Auntie. That's good and so great. Thank you, Amy. Yes, 1,500 plus. They're going for $2 a pound on the hoof. Okay. Yeah. So I can see that if they're 1,500 pounders. Yeah. $2 a pound on the hoof. That's a pretty good price. That's not a bad price. Better than what it's been. Yeah, it's God, I remember when they were threatening to go under $1 a pound on the hoof there for a little bit. My children and husband and I mean, yep. Bull calves are between 500 to 1,200. Yeah. At least they're selling good in your neck of the woods. Sell them someone for an ounce of gold, Jeff. Make more money. Yeah. Yeah, there's how do I put this nicely on here? A lot of things are going to be changing January 1st, and you'll be surprised what happens to the dollar. Eric, something else that is stronger, only it is not a part of ourselves entirely. It is also itself I would call it the maker or whatever word. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Absolutely. Have you had connections to someone that you know something is wrong or even know that? Yes, I've had that. I was in Iraq when my ex-wife was pregnant with my oldest daughter, and I knew she was pregnant. I was having morning sicknesses and stuff, craving the same stuff she was craving, and I was in Iraq, and she was back here in Missouri. And I've also had times when I've called somebody's like, "Hey, man, I got a feeling I need to call you. You know what's going on?" They're like, "How did you know?" I mean, I've had stuff like that happen quite often. We are contrary beings in some ways. After, yeah, we are. Dairy is only bringing about $15 per 100 pounds. Damn. Wow. I wouldn't make a good cow person to sell them because I would end up keeping them all. Yeah. God dang, man. $15 a 100 pound. Jeez, you're getting screwed. Well, and that's the bad problems, Johnson's disease got brought into beef cattle because what's the last stage of a dairy cow's life? They become a beef cow. That's how they make money off of them. And that Johnson's was only in the dairy cattle for so long, and now it's in the beef cattle because people mix the dairy in with the beef. Trey yet may be beyond and more than we know. Yeah. I hardly talk to my family. They are like completely different than they were before when I grew up with them. We don't vibe. A lot of them have passed away. They feel stranger. Yeah, I'm kind of that way in some aspects. No, it's going to be asset backed, William. It's going to be asset backed. It's going to change, but we're going to where we need to be, and that's asset backed, not with the system we have now. There's a reason why two certain private agencies that's controlling everything and dealing with it, that's ran by a certain family, is getting disbanded. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely, William. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, people don't know that Johnson's, that was strictly a dairy cow disease. But the last stage of a dairy cow's life is they become a beef cattle. So if they got that disease in them and they get put out with the beef cows, well, now the beef cows get it. Now it's running rampant in both dairy and beef. You putty tats are spoiled. You know that? You aggravate me quite often, but you're spoiled. No, don't try to act so innocent. You know you do things you're not supposed to do. Yeah. Give me kisses. Give me kisses. Yeah. Oh. Pain in the butt. You pain in the butt. I don't know if you guys can see the one on my shoulder, but he's right under the Bigfoot. And then I got Elvira here on my chest. It's not as big of an issue as that's true, Jeff. It's went down. When I was in college and I majored in wildlife management, Missouri conservation, but I minored in bovine and equine. And I remember part of my veterinary class, because I had to take a veterinary class for that, was learning about that stuff. And I was like, I've often wondered what happened. But yeah, I mean, it was back at that time when I was in college doing that stuff. It was pretty rampant. Eric, you're a kitty tree. Yeah, I know. Eric, you have a fur coat on. That's no kidding. That's no kidding. Try talking to them telepathically and see what they respond. Sometimes they're, yeah, they do. Oh, it's the top of the hour already. My God, it is, ain't it? Let's get some Dark Angel Medical in. I forgot. I didn't even pay attention to the time. I'm kind of not in a comfortable position too with two cats on me like this. And let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Where are you at? Load up. Hurry up. Let me find you. Let me find you. Okay, it's not that one. Come on, load up. Ah. Okay, I don't know if that played. It wasn't playing on my end. Something's going on with my internet, so I'm just going to talk about it. If you're looking for the best first aid kits on the market and trauma kits, look no further than Dark Angel Medical. Use this discount code Cryptid20 for 20% off. You can use FSA and HSA to buy those kits. They are expensive. You pay for what you get. I buy the kits using Sezzle, 4 payments, and the thing's paid off. If you use the kit to save a life, Doc will replace what you use for that kit absolutely free. Carrie Doc Davis also does travels around giving first aid and trauma classes that is certified. You can use it if you are supposed to keep your certification. You can hire him to do the class, and it is creditable. So you can also do that. If you go to YouTube to Dark Angel Medical 5115, or you go to Instagram to Dark Angel Medical. He does put little shows on them sites to teach you some, quick techniques to trauma and first aid. I highly suggest Dark Angel Medical. I've got one in my vehicle that sits on my headrest, and another one I've got on my field pack when I go out in the field. There's a reason why I asked him to be able to. I do not make a dime for promoting Dark Angel Medical. I like his product so much that I asked him if I could do that. So if you're looking for a good first aid kit or trauma kit, go to Dark Angel Medical. You will not be disappointed. They are absolutely the best. I don't know what's going on with it. This internet, man, is just horrible. Crap, come on, you're making me hit buttons I'm not supposed to hit. You're beast, the best kind. Okay, I think I'm caught up. That ain't no crap. Oh, watch out, Blackie. I got to readjust. I'm sliding down my chair. And you're not making things any easier. If you was up on my shoulder, that'd be a lot better. No, you just want to sit there and clean yourself. And once you get done cleaning yourself, you're going to clean me. That's what you usually do, ain't it? Anybody else got any more what if questions? Means I'm being distracted by putty tats. Blackie's been up my butt all day. Spoilt rotten. I wouldn't agree that you're an angel, but yeah, you're necessary. I personally won't let them take any penny from you, not supporting the entity that already has most of the wealth. Home Depot. Never mind. Okay. You also need a bath because you're smelling. Yeah, I've got my interview tomorrow for that new job position. Um, and see, I got to make sure I'm on my A game and I don't oversleep again. I've overslept Thursday, overslept yesterday, and overslept this morning. I challenge your horde of putty tats to mine. That'd be one hell of a Royal Rumble, wouldn't it? Let's see, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. So yours, I think, outnumbers mine. At least this one is behaving. He's like, I know you're busy, so I'm just going to be up on your shoulder, not like Elvira. No, I want you to hold me. You're going to hold me, human. Necessary. Yeah, you got 10. You got 10s. I mean, you even got quite a bit. Yeah, I hope it does for me too, Amy. I really need it. Not just because of future wise, but financially wise, I can use it right now. Yeah, no, Elvira's the one cleaning. Blackie's right here. Elvira's the one down here. Yeah, Elvira finally laid back down to take another nap. Then I've got another one that's up there on the shelf getting into things that she's not supposed to. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, what are you doing over there? Get out of stuff. No, get out of it. I don't want you tearing it up. Pain in the butt. I'm actually surprised Shadow ain't here. Actually, thank you for putting that up, Roxanne. I actually wrote a short mountain man story, part 1 of a short mountain man story on my website today. So if you guys haven't got it, go over there and check it out. I done a real quick part 1 of a mountain man short story today. Eric, what if you ever got a report of a man bat type of cryptid and it was from your area? I would go check it out. I'll be trying to figure out what it is. But yeah, I'd be there. I'll definitely be checking it out without a doubt. Roxanne, I'd be trying to figure out, is it a demon? Is it, what is this thing we're dealing with? Is it a trickster? What is it? Is this a new species? Is this, what we're dealing with? Yeah, because I'm going to want to know. I'm definitely going to want to know. I have 13 in my horde. They are eating a 20-pound bag of food every 3 days or less. Oh God, yeah, yeah. In all seriousness, I wish I lived closer to you so I could come help you after surgery. If I had the money, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Well, thank you, Auntie. Yeah, I'm hoping it's the surgery that I could be walking the next day. I just won't be able to. I won't be as active. But I'm waiting to hear from the orthopedics, and I'm going to tell them I want the very first surgery of the day, and then I want orthopedics bright and early the next day. I have heard of Batman Report, Unreal. There's very few of them, but I have heard them, and usually there's other types of flying cryptids that's in with those reports, but I have heard of them. Yes. Yeah, Roxanne. No joke. Can't cut your firewood. Can't cut your own firewood. I know that. Yeah. I was able to get out and do a little bit of cutting yesterday, but I'll get about 5 minutes worth of cutting done, and I got to stop. Luckily, we're going to have a warm week, so I can kind of rest up a little bit. And I work 8-hour days this week, and I'll have a half a day Wednesday. So I plan on while the warmer weather's about to try to do some more cut and see if I can't get any more done with that warmer weather. Yeah, I've been trying to get out there. I've got probably about 2 or 3 days worth of wood cut and ready right now. I'm not burning wood right now because it's been warm enough that I was like, I'm trying to save what I got. Batman villain, but it's the one that is like a cryptid animal. Yeah, I have Dawn. I think that's a misidentification, but I have heard of bat squatch. Basically, is what they call it, a bat squatch. I think it's a misidentification, or it's a trickster. Um, yeah, it's if I remember right, that it's the one they call the bat squatch. Yeah, yeah, Amy. There's another one too, but I don't think it was called bat squatch. But bat squatch is the most common one that people talk about. Yeah, Williams talked about it. Jessica's talked about it. I think I was on a show with Jessica when she talked about bat squatch. Well, I've got things to do, so I'm sorry if I disturbed your sleep. Was it Texas? I know I was thinking it was somewhere else, but it might be Texas. My memory on it's not the greatest in the world. I have a squirrel here that looks like half rabbit on the back end of it, but it's squirrel, just weird look. What have you been doing? Have you been changing and altering the DNAs of squirrels out there, Roxanne? They've been sighted in Texas Hill County. Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking they're somewhere else, but it might be. If you can get anyone to come around and do it with him, yeah. Jersey Devil similar. Yeah, I thought the Jersey Devil was more of a goat-like one, like a back goat, kind of like gargoyles. Yeah. It might have been Texas. For some reason, I had Virginia in my head when it came to bat squatch. You'll never tell. Oh man, yeah. I'm not a real big bat squatch person, so I've not really done a whole lot of studying on it. Has been spotted in Texas and California and West Virginia and Virginia. Okay, that's why that was stuck in my head. Thank you, William. I was sitting there going through my brains like, man, I want to say Virginia, but I was like, maybe I'm wrong. So that's why I was sitting there kind of going through my head trying to remember. But I didn't remember the Texas one because I was thinking the one in Virginia was one where it attacked the roof of the car. And then there was one that was out in front of a car. And then I was thinking there was one on a building somewhere. Or am I thinking of, I might be thinking of Mothman on the building. I'm waiting for it. Hey, Ryan. I suspect the Jersey Devil is little more than a hoax. Ben Franklin played a huge role in the creation of the story. I wouldn't disagree with you on that, Ryan. I'm not a big Jersey Devil guy. I know there's a lot. It's really steeped in that area. I think it's probably something that's been altered from its original telling. A where man? You talking about your boyfriend? Knowing you, that's probably what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, The pterodactyls, I've heard a lot of the pterodactyls from the Texas area, which they believe that the Texas version of the Thunderbird is that pterodactyl. Um, I'm only saying what she's told me. Um, but because there's two different types of Thunderbirds that's been talked about. You got the pterodactyl style, which is a lot of the Texas area. Then you got the eagle style, which is more of the northwestern side. So that makes you wonder when they're talking about them pterodactyls in Texas, if that's what they're talking about. It's what they call a Thunderbird. Wouldn't be surprised if people got Bat Squatch and Mothman confused because they are both described. That's exactly where I'm hinting at too, William. That's why I'm not a big Bat Squatch guy, because too many reports have them being the same. But, Amy, all I'm saying is that's what I've heard her say a time or two. That's why I had to make sure she was talking about something legit. I gotta keep her in line. She's like, she's got to keep me in line. No, my neighbor, he tries to think he's God, gift to females. He's an idiot, so I call him wereman something he's not. Oh, that's funny. That's another one too. I actually remember you calling him that too. You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I've heard you call your boyfriend that, and I've heard you call him that before. I remember now. The same one that thought you were flying around on a broom, huh? Yeah, we have fun in here, Amy. We really do. Well, you know what's funny? The stuff we talk about nowadays during a time of, probably, was it 300 years ago, you could be considered a witch. Believing the stuff we're talking about 300 years ago, they would, especially if it was a woman, how 300 years ago a woman was talking about this stuff or taking an interest in astronomy, astrology, or stuff like that. Oh, you're a witch. It's so stupid. We went from women allowed to study that stuff to you're a witch, you ain't supposed to do that, burn her at the stake, to now we're back to doing it again. It's an endless cycle. It's a narrative. Yes, and never my boyfriend. Oops. Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you. That's right. Yeah, he gets lost. He gets lost as a goose in a hailstorm. That's right. If women could read, they were accused of being witch. Yeah, they really were. But he went from women being able to do that stuff to you can't, to back to you can do it again. It's mind control. It's just control, period. If you're born with a unibrow or excessive body hair, they accused you of being a werewolf. Yeah. Yeah. I remember Jessica talking about that one on Real. Georgia has a report of a raptor by granddad and grandson. Yeah. I remember Jessica talking about that quite often, and she could have swore she's had one around her and her son before. If you are intelligent female, they called you a woman. Yeah, they called a woman a witch. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like I said, it's all control, man. I think a lot of it had to do. Husbands wanted a divorce from their wives because they wanted to be with their mistress who was better than their wives, so they would do that quite often. I think that's honestly how that stuff started. And God forbid you see a Bigfoot, everyone calls you the demon. So freaking sad. Yeah. This whole demon and Nephilim Bigfoot theory is just stupid. Man, that's the thing. Nephilim is the Hebrew word for giant. So is Bigfoot in the classification of a giant? Technically, yes, he is. But it's like I've said so many times, there are different types of giants. So many different types of giants. So people just get them confused. Or they're trying to be popular, so they reclassify something to make them sound good to get more clickbaits. Raptor sightings are weird. Velociraptors weren't tall like in the Jurassic. No, it was a different type of raptor. That it wasn't the Velociraptor. It was a different type of raptor. They just call it a Velociraptor thanks to Holly Scrooge. Yeah, Holly Scrooge is the one that started calling them Velociraptor. The Velociraptor was actually smaller than the ones in the movie. That was a different type of raptor. Then later on in their evolution, much like a lot of the other dinosaurs, they started growing feathers. It means to fall, Nephil in Hebrew. Yeah, but you actually look up the Hebrew word. Nephilim says in Hebrew, it says giant. And they are from and I think the to fall is where they get the misconception that it was the fallen angels that mated with women to create the Nephilim. It wasn't. It was the Watchers. If you read the book of Enoch, it tells you all about it right there. And when they're talking about giants, they always call them Nephilim. In every book of any type of Christianity, Judaism, when it talks about giants, it's Nephilim. Even Lilith was known to go to Lucifer and say, I want you to bring back the Nephilim of old. Back then, humans were also much bigger than they are now. Yeah, they absolutely. The new studies of the cubic that they came out with, the Mariel, come to find out the cubic was way bigger than what they originally thought. In all actuality, if you listen to the height of Adam and Eve to the cubit, they were around 30, 40 foot tall. But are they not a fallen angel? No, Nephilim were not a fallen angel. Nephilim was the offspring of the Watchers and the women. The earthly women. When the Watchers mated with the earthly women, they created the Nephilim, which is known as the giants. Red hair, square teeth, and 6 digits. That's because in Hebrew they're called Nephilim, but there's other types of giants, not just the Hebrew giants. The term is translated as giant by American scholars, not in that. That's just what I've read in the book of Enoch. There does seem to be some who call everything yeah, they do. They do. They exist. Doesn't make me think at all. Spiritual demons. I have proof of that. Actually, I think I need to try to get a hold of my Jew. Oh, God, it's been so long though. They probably don't remember me. I remember we talked about this a long time ago. We had stayed with a Jewish family for a little while. One, I believe the husband was a non-believer in the Messiah, and the wife was a believer in the Messiah, even though they were, because there's two types of Jews. You have a believer, you have a non-believer. And if I remember right, the husband was a non-believer, the wife was a believer. Even though they felt that way, they still went to the same church and they were still together. So good night, William. But I remember them. This was the 80s. I wish I can get back a hold of them. But they even called the Nephilim giants. Yeah, go take care of that figure, bro. Yeah, that's true, Roxanne. I'll check on that, and because I believe I have access to a local rabbi. I've talked to him before on certain things dealing with the biblical, the Bible, because of modern day third thinking versus traditional. And so if I can get a chance to reach out to him and remember, I will double check with him. Because if I remember right, I'm pretty sure that even though they disagreed on Jesus being the Messiah, I vaguely remember them saying that Nephilim were giants. Sirens are what the wives of the fallen are cursed to come back as and make that, or unless you go to Greek mythology, then they were flying bird-like people. Some of the original tellings of sirens, I think it was Greek, I believe it was Greek. Hey, Joanne. They were not mermaids. They were flying bird-like humans. So the people that consume mermaids are literally eating the wives of the fallen angels. Yeah, now the fallen angel or the mermaids is the. I knew that as being the ones that was cast to the sea, but the sirens I couldn't remember. I know the sirens were bird-like people. Yeah, and it was later on that the sirens got mixed in as being mermaid. That happened later on throughout history. Basically, yes, Ryan. They were like harpies. Yeah, that. Thank you. That was the term I was trying to think. Um, yes, they were harpies. Sirens were basically harpies, is what they were. Yeah. Lilith also had bird feet. I've never heard of that, Amy. That's new on me. Because Lilith is known as First Eve. She was Adam's first wife, and then when she rebelled and refused to go back to heaven, the three angels trapped her in the river Euphrates, and so God cursed her that she would literally have to feed off the life force of infants and pregnant women and even men. And the three angels were their protectors of them against Lilith. And she was also cursed that 100 of her offspring would die every single day for all of eternity. Yep, harpies. So Lilith is the first succubus, the first vampire. She is the oldest vampire, and she literally survives off the life force of pregnant women, babies, and single men alone. So she is known to come to a pregnant woman and feast on their energy. Unnamed babies left alone in their crib. She's also known to come to men when they're sleeping alone and make love to them and take their seed from them that way. Something just put their hand on my shoulder. The right one that hurts now. The pain subside after that. Oh, cool, Roxanne. My cat is listening and making eyes. Slow blinks. I think she likes your voice. That's funny, Joe. Yeah, I've got a cat here and a cat here right now, I'll tell you. And then Roxanne cat's licking me on the computer screen. I must be a liar. What's that called? Lyran? A feline person. But yeah, Lilith is, in all honesty, the first vampire. So how you guard yourself against Lilith is you have to have that's why a lot of the Hebrews had the talisman of the three angels above a pregnant woman's bed or above an infant's bed, because that was the only way to ward Lilith off. But if you're a man that sleeps alone, you have to be careful because she's known to come to you in her sleep, make love to you. And some encounters you die, some she just steals your seed. I thought that was who you were talking about. Unreal. You scared me. I was like the deer woman. I knew it scared Gaia. I thought you were calling her Lilith. I apologize. I don't always understand things. No worries, Amy. I have the wrong. I may be wrong. It's because I'm thinking of the Brown Mountain Lions in North Carolina. Cherokee. Oh, you're thinking of Spearfinger. The Cherokee say are widows. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Widows of the fallen. They could be a succubus. No, Cain was not the first vampire. Lilith was. Lilith was known as First Eve. She was the first, but yeah, deer woman. Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about, Unreal. Yeah, Cain was not the first vampire. No, that is all Holly Scrooge. Cain was the first murderer of innocents. In some texts, it was something different. But yes, basically he is the first murderer of innocents. But no. Oh, you're thinking of the video game. Daggone it. Jonaside, you got me on that one. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Legacy of Kain. God bless America. I didn't even think about that game. Unless I'm wrong. In the Cherokee belief, the deer woman is a symbol of fertility and hope for women. Yes, she's known to talk to him she's known to take women. Yes. Spearfinger is definitely known to taking women. She's another type, a mimic type. She will mimic voices to draw you out. Lilith is also known as the mother of demons. That's another thing you can know about Lilith too. Lilith probably got to Cain. So actually, Mario, you're correct, because when Cain was cast out, he went to city to find a wife. He found Lilith, Adam's first wife. It's literally in there. And yes, you're absolutely right. When he found a wife, he found Lilith. He did think Lilith is the devil or female. No, Lilith is someone different, but she is known to be the wife of the devil. There's text of her being the wife of the devil, the mother of demons. I am Cherokee, so I don't always see things like other people. Well, yeah, I get that. I was thinking Vampire, the Masquerade. Oh, I had the video game in my head. I love that video game, Legacy of Kain. Soul Reaver was my first introduction to that game. That's like, I love that game. Oh, I missed Ryan's. Sorry, Ryan. I missed your deal. The chat jumped. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay, never mind. Yep, never mind. That's right. I did catch up. Never mind. We good. I didn't miss one. Lilith is the grandmother of the Nephilim. Actually, Nephilim were around before Lilith became the grandmother of Nephilim. That's why she went to the river to ask the seven-headed dragon, which was Lucifer, to bring back the Nephilim of old. The key word, Nephilim of old. Does a wonderful job explaining Lilith in a podcast called Bump Podcast. Heck yeah. Diablo game with Lilith is creepy. That I should, yeah. I haven't played that one. He specifies her in her Lilith. Yeah. Only games on the mind. Hell yeah. No, when she did approach the seven-headed dragon, which was Lucifer, she strictly requested, and her words was, please bring back the Nephilim of old. So that makes me wonder, when Lucifer and the fallen fell, did they fall after the flood? Because we know the flood was created to destroy all the giants of the world because of the way they become. That's why God flooded the earth. And so when Lilith went to the dragon and said, bring back the Nephilim of old, did the fallen fall after the flood? Because we know the Watchers mated with the human women to create the Nephilim. And then Lilith all of a sudden comes back and said, bring back the Nephilim of old. So if you go by that context, it's possible that the fallen angels fell after the flood. Yes, some did survive. Yes, Amy. Some absolutely did survive. Not all the giants died, though. The spirits went to seek. Some, yes, but there's so many reports throughout every culture in history. Every culture in history talks about the flood, and the flood was caused to destroy the giants. Every culture in history talks about it. It's the exact same thing. And some will tell you they climbed on top of a mountain to survive. Some will tell you they got on a boat to survive. Others tell you they went into the mountains to survive. I think the mountain orbs in that area also have a legend of the Pumpkinhead Man or humanoid. They are a couple of other strange. I think I've heard of that Unreal. I think I've heard what you're talking about. Yeah, no kidding, Roxanne. I mean, that's just something that I've been kind of looking into, because that would be the only way that Lilith's comment would make sense, is if the fallen angels fell after the flood. Because if you read in the ancient text, the ones that's left out of the King James version, it talks about how evil and the giants were here before it talks about the fallen angels. So if we go by that theory, and that's true, that would make sense that the civil war in heaven that casted out 1/3 of the angels, the fallen, that would have taken place after the flood. I don't know. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's kind of one of the theories I've been somewhat looking into. I haven't had time to really look into it a whole lot. But I've been trying to dig up some research on that, because it kind of makes sense. So, yeah, man, you'd be surprised what you're not taught. You'd be surprised what you learn when you go to looking. Okay, imagine a possessed individual mating with a woman. They have a kid. That child could be a Nephilim. I think it gets real deep. Huh. See, demons are different than the fallen. The fallen are still angels. They still hold rank. They still hold power. The fallen are the fallen. Demons were created after the fallen. So if a demon possessed a woman, could they actually create a Nephilim? That would be the thing, because the Nephilim were all created by the angels mating with humans. Demon is a subspecies. It's a creation of Lucifer. That would be weird. Auntie, that's my deal. It's my little Streamlab is my deal. Eric, there's a big 411 missing type of thing there, of course, though many other mountains have that. There's some UFO history and some claims of underground facilities. Yeah, there's a lot of that all over the U.S. People will be surprised how much that is actually all over the U.S. The spirit can enter the baby in the womb. I don't know. That's a good question. Most of what I've researched on that, they couldn't enter the baby because the baby's still pure. It hasn't been corrupted. So it's still under Yahuwah's graces. So with the baby entering the womb, I'm not sure if that's possible or not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just not sure if that's actually accurate, because, a baby is still under Yahuwah's, protection, because they're still innocent. They're still pure. Hope, did I miss something? Yeah, so Streamlabs is my little chat bot thing that pops up when you put in a code. I've got certain things that's stored on Streamlabs. So when I or when my mods put in a code, Streamlab pops up what's in that banner, so to speak. So let me scroll up here real quick. So like, she was putting in my show stuff. So she put in that code for my show, right? Well, when she puts in that code, this is the banner that pops up in the chat for that code. And so that code is set to that message. So it goes into the chat. That's what Streamlabs is. And we're starting to act up when I'm popping stuff up again. Yay. Imagine that. Okay, give me a second. I've got to wait for this to catch up to what I want to do. Okay, there we go. You're I think you're pretty close if memory serves me correctly, Auntie. I think you are really close to how it's actually spelled. Jesus is a Western name. Jesus is not the real name. That's the Western version of it. There is no J in the Hebrew language there, but that's why it's with a Y. Um, so I believe your spelling is pretty spot on if I remember correctly. But yes, Jesus is actually a Western Christian thing. The show are people that Eric has on to get people to over to subscribe. Yes, yes, that does that too. Ryan says Eric Robert Prevo is trying to tempt me to make a comeback in 2026. I'm serious, dude. Do it. Absolutely do it. I need to get you on again. I haven't had you on a while. I need to come up with a good topic and get you back on again soon. Yeah. Oh, I thought I had a code for Ryan's. Did I not make a code for Ryan? I thought I did. I got to remember to do that. I could have swore at one time I thought I had a code for Ryan's show. Yeah. It's pronounced Yeshua and then Yahuwah. Maybe we're not meant to know some things, not until another time. Like I was kind of hinting at earlier with the higher level of consciousness, the higher level of being, and that veil thinning. Maybe that's when we're supposed to start knowing more of that stuff. The higher level of consciousness you get, the more you know. I don't think he'd want us to be concerned with how you say, well, in some aspects, and Muriel, I'll agree with you, but you also have to be careful because even Yeshua said when he went to Lucifer in the desert, he says, you're not just a prince amongst these people, but you're a God amongst these people. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very, very, very careful in what we say. A guy in South America is Jesus. Yep. And name is more of what authority you walk in. Yeah. So, I mean, make sure your mind, your spirituality is, spirituality or spirituality is correct and your energy is correct. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah. That's it. I thought I had one. So I need to update it. Okay. I need to update it then. Okay. I don't think Jesus minds what you call him as long as you know what. Yeah, that's what goes right back to what I was saying. Is you got to be careful what your mind, your heart, your soul, and your energy is all about. Yep, we do. Okay, I'll have to get the new one and update that. I thought I updated that. Maybe I did. Yeah, it is. It is time of knowing. Yeah. Hey, Carl. Age of Aquarius. Yeah. See, like a lot of people think Atlantis was a city. Atlantis was a land mass. Not all of Atlantis sank. Only a certain city sank. So Atlanteans, which I think is probably what we call Denisovans, a lot of them did still survive when that city sank. But Atlantis was an actual land mass, a type of people, not just a city. Yeah. Ain't that the same one? I'll have to look it up because I'll just copy and paste it, upgrade it. Whoever you call him, yeah. Wasn't that the same one you just posted up there? Yeah, it's the same one. It just doesn't have all the numbers behind it. Let me in. Okay. At youtube.com at let me in. Okay, yeah, that one just don't have all the numbers behind it. Okay. Try to get caught up where I left off here. I don't think it was Western as much as the Vatican. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hinting at. I've said a certain name too much this week, Auntie, so that's why I was trying to avoid that again. Or whoever you call him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about, Jonaside. Yeah, yeah. I was looking into it. I kind of stopped, but I'm often wondered if the Denisovan wasn't the remnants of Atlantis. What is the Baltic Sea anomaly in a place of Atlantis? I don't know that one, Unreal. What is the Baltic Sea anomaly? Is it a piece of that? Could be. Oh, did he shorten it? Okay. You know, that's a good possibility. That really is a good possibility. I need to look into it. I got to try to remember to look that up. Denisovans possess a special gene called EPAS1 that the Tibetans inherited from the help to help them just to high altitude and oxygen environments. Believe Sasquatch possesses the same genes. Yeah, because I mean, you back then you had Neanderthal and you had Denisovan. There were two different. They were two different distinct bloodlines. That's why I've often wondered if Denisovan wasn't remnants of Atlantean because of that. I also believe Sasquatch are descendants of Denisovan, and when I found out Meldrum had the theory, also I was happy. Yeah, I mean, we know there's different types of Sasquatch, so is the Denisovan a type of Sasquatch? That's definitely possible, and I believe Neanderthal style, which is more humanistic style, is probably that one. We got a what if here. Eric, what if pieces of the Atlantis are scattered across the world? Would you say it would indicate Atlantis being in one area of the world wide? Atlantis connect. So that's actually why I was talking about that, because it's already pretty much due to ancient texts proven what you're just saying right there. Atlantis was a huge ass landmass, and then the capital city, Atlantis, was the one that fell. Eric, there, that book, Them and Us, that talks about that. Okay, I need to try to decipher that. Sorry, Roxanne, I got to try to decipher what you're saying on that. You're saying there's a book that talks about that? I think there is. Yeah, I think it's ain't it the Book of Denisovan or something like that? And I also believe that the Denisovans came here on the Kelp Highway. In theory, well, see, I mean, a lot of I could see that. where Bigfoot might have come from. Okay, yeah, I think I know what book you're talking about, but yeah. I remember something about it because I was doing some research on Denisovan, and I remember a book about that came up. I can't remember the name of it, though. I was thinking it had a different name. Well, I thought it was something like Bigfoot Neanderthal. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, never mind. Looked at that wrong. Oh, hold on. You're about to fall, honey. Now you're going to stick your claws in me. Them and Us. Yes. Okay, that was it. Yes. Thank you. Yes, Them and Us. Yes, that's it. Yeah, that was the book I was thinking of. Because that I had a theory about it. So when I was doing some research on Denisovan, I remember that book came up, and I was like, "Yeah, I definitely ain't the first person who came up with this theory." Oh, come here! No, get up here on my shoulder. Come on, man. Eric, talking to your. Well, I don't have a wife, man. I'm single. Get up there. No, Mom, I'm tired. My arms are getting tired of holding you, honey. You won't sit in my lap. My arms are getting tired, and I need this right one so I can do my show. You being a pain, you spoilt brat. You know that? Hey, Elvira, look at me. Hey, you're being a pain in the butt. You know that? All right. Yeah. And I also believe Sasquatch to be mixed with supernatural abilities from a planet called Maldic, where they originally seeded from. Where they, I know that's a new one that's came out, Amy. I've heard of it. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're right. I kind of stick more towards the historical text of people talking about it, and to me, they were the first human. They're the original life forms here, not us, but them. That's why so many people, like Native and other people, call them the Elder Big Brother, the first beings. I asked that because of the different claims of where Atlantis is located, Bermuda. Yeah. And it's a good point. That is a very good point, Unreal, because yes, there is claims and evidence to suggest Atlantis has been in multiple locations. That's why they've started to realize that, hey, Atlantis was actually a big landmass. Yeah, no, ain't nothing wrong with that at all, Amy. I know that's a new theory that came out, and you know, it's something that just started coming out, and I don't know, man. There's like no historical evidence of that, but I could be wrong. Oh, you learned it from Bigfoot? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going off of historical records. Depends entirely on what tribe you speak of. Not all of them view Sasquatch in a positive light. Well, the same with humans. Not all of them view humans in a positive light too. I agree with that. Yeah. So I do not know their theory. Okay. Yeah, I know that's been a recent theory that came out like a year or so ago on the interweb, and that's when you started hearing about it. What is Ezua, Bigfoot, Jacob, human? What if? Oh, that's a what if question. Okay. What if Ezua equals Bigfoot and Jacob equals human? Oh, that would be interesting. I know the oldest text of the creation of man was this ancient Sumerian. So they took the clay of the earth, mixed it with their DNA to create humans. which when people read that, they automatically think clay, which is dirt. I think it was the life forms, which is the clay of the earth. That's kind of where I'm at on that. There's a theory that the one land mass that was sank centuries ago could have been Atlantis. Yeah, I believe that was the city. I believe that's the theory you're talking about. That theory sounds very familiar. I think they were talking about that was the actual city, but the land mass and the people was different because a lot of their stuff survived after it fell. The one that I know, when I asked her where she was from, she told me that she lived here all her life, but her family originated from a star called Maldek a very long time ago. I wonder if I can find Maldek. That'd be interesting. And that fits with a lot of other stuff too, because even humans, most of your human stories say we come from the stars. But there are many kinds of them. Yeah, there is. There's different kinds of them. You're absolutely right. Is Ezua the firstborn son of Isaac? Your belly's making some weird noises, Blackie. Whoa, I got something on here I didn't know I had. What does this button do? It don't do nothing. Huh. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Oh. I don't remember this being on there. But I don't hear nothing. Oh, it's just delayed. I've got sound effects. Yeah, I mean that would fit with a lot of other, even with ancient Sumerian. Like look at the book of Gilgamesh. I mean, that would fit along the lines of the book of Gilgamesh. Not exactly, but it falls along that lines, Muriel. Sorry, I got like distracted. There was a squirrel moment. I was like, what's this react thing? I don't remember that being there, so I had to click it and see what it did. But it was so delayed. Yeah, it finally played. It's got some other ones on her too. Meowtic. Yeah, it's got an air horn, clap one, clap two, chant, cheer, gasp, laugh one, laugh two, drum one, and react. What's react do? Oh. Yeah. I just don't remember it being there. I must have looked over it or something. I haven't looked down. It's like, what does react do? And it's got like a little music symbol on there. So I was like, I want to push it. Should I push it? I want to push it. I don't know if I should push it. I was like, I'm going to push it. I'm so used to my soundboard, but it started acting up. I've got to try to. I need to spend this week sometime and try to get that hook back up. Then you got. It's not playing. Yeah, my internet's so messed up, it's not working. Oh, there it goes. You got some rest for your interview tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, it's 8:00 already, ain't it? Well, thank you, Amy. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I need to get my laundry out of the dryer and got to get to bed. You guys, thanks you for all the what if questions. That was fun. I love doing that type of stuff. So we may have to do that again sometime in the future. We have some great theories. I mean, and that's the thing is we got to learn about these theories. We're not always going, hey, Manisha, you fell asleep on me. My heart's broken. My heart's broken. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry, Manisha. I am so boring that you fell asleep on me. I'm going to cry. But I'm sorry, man. I had to pick on you a little. So yeah, well, yeah, it was. That's right. I was thinking you were the first one that brought that up. It's okay. I'm giving you a hard time. I was thinking that was you who brought that up, Roxanne. I just wasn't 100% sure it was. But we'll do this again in the future. It was kind of fun. I mean, I like doing. I love doing topics, but I love having fun just shooting the shit too. It's just I have a lot of fun doing that. I think it's just as much fun, if not funner, than actually talking about a topic. And we love here. I mean, we get to hear. We've heard some amazing theories. Like I said, I don't always agree with them. I don't have to. Just like you're not always going to agree with my theories. You don't have to. But we're learning by talking about it. This is how we learn. And that's what I love doing this stuff. That's why I love doing this. So, I appreciate every single one of you. Amy, thank you so much for those super stickers, man. You about made me cry on live. I appreciate that so much. Everybody give a shout out to my mods, Roxanne and William, that were on here tonight. I appreciate them both. I am so very thankful that they helped me during the show. And Roxanne does good keeping me on track with my memory because sometimes I do go squirrel. So I'm very thankful for that stuff. And I don't know what I'll be doing next week. I'm doing some research on a book subject that I forgot that I had written out notes down for. And I'm not going to say what type of book it is. So I was doing some research on that most of the day today, trying to get it remembered. And so I've got to get back to writing, but I'll get to writing for a little bit. Then my wrist gets to tingling real bad and I got to stop. I will not be, most likely I will not see you guys before Christmas time. So beans are probably next weekend before I see you guys again. Happy Yule. Happy Merry Christmas, however it is you celebrate it. For me, it's Happy Yule, Yule time. I appreciate every single one of you guys. All my new subscribers to my OGs, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you come in, listen to this old hillbilly talk, and get to see how these cats treat me. And I appreciate you guys for that. You did you see how you are, Auntie? Now I'm going to cry because you fell asleep on me last night. No worries. It's all good. That's a good thing about doing this. You fall asleep, you can always watch it later on because it's going to be maintained. So, do a show one day on different tribes of Nephilim Therium. I tell you what, send that to me on a message or an email, Carl, and I will look into that. So until then, y'all be safe. Enjoy the holidays. Spend time with your loved ones. You don't know how many days you have left with your loved ones, so spend as much time with your loved ones as you can. Yeah, if you got somebody that doesn't have someone to fall back onto, reach out to them, let them know you're thinking about them, and try to do something special for them as well. That can make a difference between a good holiday and a sad holiday. So make sure you reach out to them during this time here. Be safe, and remember, God, blessings, love, or peace, love, and blessings to you all. And until next week, bye.